The Philistines who were not driven out of the Gaza Strip. Today's focus: the Danites moved away from their allotted inheritance. Find Foods, 7 minutes a day, 1 Bible a year. Grace and peace, everyone. Our reading today brings us to Joshua chapter 17 through 20. Our key verse is, "When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, 'You are now very old, and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. This is the land that remains, all the regions of the Philistines and Geshurites.'" Joshua 13. Earlier, we talked about Caleb capturing Hebron, a relatively minor campaign. Caleb's example is one of faith, while the tribe of Dan illustrates a lack of faith, creating a sharp comparison. In the Promised Land, after the great battles, do we continue in victories or escape? This creates a sharp contrast. Caleb, who desired victories, drove out the giants and in the end inherited Hebron. But the tribe of Dan was different. They moved away to escape. We know God is open to negotiation. Take the 2.5 tribes east of the Jordan, Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh. They negotiated. If you insist on second best, that is allowed. Caleb insisted on the very best. He is our model of faith. But compared to the 2.5 tribes east of the Jordan, the tribe of Dan was even more lacking in faith. They moved away to escape. We must learn from history and see what significance this holds for us. The book of Joshua is about Joshua conquering the land of Canaan. Today's reading covers chapters 17 through 20, the land yet to be possessed, allotment for the 7 tribes, the cities of refuge, and the towns for the Levites, the adjustment after the major battles. When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, "You are now very old, and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. This is the land that remains, all the regions of the Philistines and Geshurites, from the Shihor River on the east of Egypt to the territory of Ekron on the north, all of it counted as Canaanite, though held by the 5 Philistine rulers in Gaza." Joshua 13. What we see on the map is the Philistine plain. In history textbooks, you might hear of the Phoenicians or the Philistines. They are speaking of the same region. The territory allocated to the tribe of Dan is located here. Now, concerning Caleb of the tribe of Judah, regarding this unconquered territory, he launched a forceful attack and defeated the giants. Even the tribe of Judah had unconquered areas. But Caleb relied on his faith to capture Hebron. Hebron had giants, and the Philistine territory also had giants. Yet, it was the same God, the Almighty God, the Lord of hosts. The response was different, and the outcome was different. Caleb relied on his faith to capture the victory. As for the Philistine plain, where the tribe of Dan settled, also known as the Gaza Strip, they chose to migrate and move to the far north. Is it escape or victory? When the territory of the Danites was lost to them, they went up and attacked Leshem, took it, put it to the sword, and occupied it. They settled in Leshem and named it Dan after their ancestor. Joshua 19 verse 47. So in the book of Judges, we often read of Dan to Beersheba. The northernmost point is Dan. The southernmost point in Judah is Beersheba. When they went to investigate, they found a city called Leshem. It was isolated and vulnerable, and the land was fertile. So they took matters into their own hands, left their allotted territory, attacked Leshem, and renamed it Dan. Earlier, we mentioned the contrast. Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, took Hebron, Judges 1. This was the content mentioned earlier in Joshua 15. Othniel later became Caleb's son-in-law and the first judge. Caleb continued to fight and win. The tribe of Dan abandoned their allotted territory. From this, we can see that later, the tribe of Dan became a center of idolatry. When foreign invaders came from the north, they were the first to fall. In the book of Revelation chapter 7, of those 144,000 who were sealed, the tribe of Dan was even omitted from the 12 tribes. There are many interpretations of this theologically. But no matter how you interpret it, it is certainly not a good thing. For the 144,000 left on earth to be sealed are the victorious ones. They have a special mission. Is it escape or victory? Caleb chose victory, but the Danites chose to flee. Let's understand this from a spiritual perspective. Entering the land of Canaan was God's promise. It is beautiful, a land flowing with milk and honey. We must continue to fight and win, not choose comfort and being ineffective and unproductive. It was still the same God, the Almighty God, the Lord of hosts. He is the banner of victory, the commander of the army. The key is our faith in him, not how tall the giants are. Only in this way can we continue to fulfill the promised land. The God of Emmanuel is with us. Therefore, we must continue to be victorious. Reading Guide to Joshua. The book of Joshua is about Joshua conquering the land of Canaan set in the Joshua age. Chapter 17. Ephraim demanded more land. Ephraim and Joshua were of the same tribe, but Joshua did not show favoritism. You demand more land? Then you must continue to expand within your territory. Do not fear the Canaanites, and do not compromise with the 7 Canaanite nations. Chapter 18. Allotment for the 7 tribes. Joshua rebuked the 7 tribes, because there is still much land yet to be possessed. Chapter 19. Joshua allocated Timnath. The Danites moved away from their allotted inheritance. The method of land allocation was through casting lots. After the major battles were largely completed, they cast lots to allocate the land to each tribe, then continuing to fight and to win. Chapter 20. Designate cities of refuge. Today's focus. The Danites moved away from their allotted inheritance. In the promised land, do we continue in victories or escape? Choosing comfort and escape leads to endless trouble. We must continue in victories, driving out the giants to fulfill the promised land. Blessed is the one whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. FineFoods7 minutes. See you tomorrow.